Hello everyone, this is the Master Chief 1, and welcome to my final part of my Donkey Kong Country Let's Play. If as you remember me trying to mention in the very last part of my Let's Play, this is the last annoying level within Donkey Kong Country, actually. This is the last most annoying level within Donkey Kong Country, actually. It is called Tanked Up Trouble, actually. And the idea of this level, as you can see, that this conveyor belt, and I have to say that this conveyor belt has worse gas mileage than a Buick. And I'm being serious. I mean, you'll find out that this entire conveyor belt runs out of fuel very quickly, actually. And the idea behind it is that you actually have to continue to provide fuel for this conveyor belt as much as you possibly can and continue to provide fuel. Otherwise, if you run out of fuel, the conveyor belt will be completely drained. This conveyor belt will be completely drained of fuel and then suddenly will vanish. And if it vanishes, you actually lose a life. Yes, if this conveyor belt runs out of fuel, which you'll have to continue to collect, it will suddenly vanish and you will lose a life every single time this occurs. This is actually quite a challenging level due to the obstacles and due to the fact you have to continue to collect fuel when it comes to this. And yet again, because this is such an annoying level, I lost another dang life. And yet, another life lost, because this is such an annoying level indeed. And yet another life lost. Oh, what utter annoying fun this is. And there's another life lost. Oh, what joy. And yet again I get another life lost, and this time I get hit by a stupid zinger. And yet again I get hit by a stupid zinger! And once again I am in the deadly path, this deadly path of zingers where the fuel becomes so limited indeed. Thankfully enough, this time around I have both Kongs, but of course I lose one of them yet again. But finally I get to the end of this. However, when I do get to the... However, stupidly enough, I don't know why I just jumped off of the walkways, but this time I finally make it with Diddy Kong. And at last, I am happy to say, after being on those mining boardwalks, I finally make it to the next level, Manic Mincers. And yes, I wasn't joking when I said that the drills in this game are called mincers. But this time around, we deal with the mincers when it comes to ground exploration, which is actually a lot more easier. And behold, the second to last animal buddy within the game, ran by the rhino. Yes, oddly enough, this level is actually the only level in the Donkey Kong Country series that does not have an underwater-based level in the slightest. Well, it's pretty understandable considering that this level pretty much is just pretty much a harder rip-off of the second area of Donkey Kong Island, or as you guys know, the mining area. Only that it's comprised of plenty of more tougher elements to it. in regards to certain things, but thankfully enough, I am pleased and very happy to state that we have finally gotten through the hardest, the hardest and the most annoying last level of the game, which was Tanked Up Trouble. Thankfully enough, the other levels do have, of course, will have some difficulty, but they are not nearly as challenging as, of course, Tanked Up Trouble as you saw was. And yet I have to hit, and yet I have to lose Rambai, and then yet I have to lose Rambai, and then suddenly lose a life, and yet again I lose a life in that same stupid region yet again. Oh, what joy! Not really, of course. Thankfully enough, I was actually able to collect all the Kong letters this time. And stupidly enough, I hit those dumb Nantes in the process. But thankfully enough, you can actually go back into that tunnel and respawn the barrels, which is very nice. And that's the second to last area in the game where it's necessary to use Diddy's shield barreled hold move in order to access it. And I said that's the second to last area. The last area where you need Diddy Kong's shield barrel move, which is coming up very soon, is actually quite frustrating indeed. There isn't a whole lot of too much of a major element in this level. It's just a basic mine level, with the only difference is you experience more of those annoying skull and crossbone barrels that actually continue to spawn enemies, as you see. And as I told you before in previous parts, yes, they're killed off by TNT barrels that continue to spawn all these small, minuscule enemies. And there isn't too much of a major element in this level, all except for the fact actually that there is just a bunch of fog, actually. And I'm actually pretty happy to state, though, that I haven't actually experienced any fog lately when it comes to the area I've been experiencing. Well, given the time of the year, it's pretty obvious why there wouldn't be any real forms of fog, I'm pleased to say. Bless me. This time around, I'm gonna do the bonus round that actually makes it, which is actually the easiest place to get the Kong letter. Heck, you can actually come back here several times in order to be able to get several lives. However, it's not really the quickest way to be able to get extra lives in the game. And the final animal buddy that you get to ride in the game is Espresso the Ostrich. Now, I don't really get why in the world, well, I'm assuming, I guess, Espresso the Ostrich's one weakness is that she can handle enemies with her legs, but anything above the legs, actually, she's vulnerable to. Now, be careful here because, of course, of this annoying barrel. But aside from that, yes, we've once again went into the next bonus area, actually, which is a pretty, okay and kinda cool, random mine tunnel that's actually a little bonus area. And yet again, we've done it. And for some stupid reason, I get killed off by the armies. And for some stupid reason, I fall off the ledge with Donkey Kong. Anyway, to save the boredom, yes, I collected 3 espresso tokens. And once again, I enter the last animal buddy stage that I experienced within the game. As I'm playing Donkey Kong Country. Oh yeah, yes. Oh yes. Blah 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 blah. And yet again, I enter this bonus stage, and if you collect all the Kong letters without completing the level, which I am not, as I'm saying you'll actually have to do this over again. Da da da. But thankfully enough, you can be able to get Espresso the ostrich again. Da da da. I've already completed all the bonus barrel stages. Now I'm just trying to get through this level, and thankfully enough, I'm happy to say I do something that's actually pretty great, a pretty great accomplishment, if I do have to say so myself. I'm actually able to keep Espresso the ostrich despite all these stupid spawning enemies, thanks to these annoying oil barrels. I mean, well, not annoying oil barrels, but thanks to these annoying skull and crossbone barrels. Da da da. Looking good, Kongs. Buckle up and blast. You're off. I said, looking good, Kongs. Buckle up and blast. You're off. Now, the reason why I came back here is I'm showing you off in case you need it. Need to do this, a easy way to get extra lives, actually. And yes, if you're good enough with your rolls and stuff, you can be able to get extra lives. Yeah, another great place to get, of course, another extra one-up, as you're aware of, is that if you go into, of course, Donkey Kong Country's house, you're able to get another extra life, as I am doing right here. Yeah, if you're good enough with your rolls, you can be able to execute excellent enough rolls on these, of course, on the palm trees here that you see within this jungle level. You can actually gain plenty of extra lives. You dudes need some lives or something? Then go to Jungle Hijinks. Yes, and I'll be using that again, but I'll be cutting it even short than that. Anyway, the idea of this level is, yes, it's once again another blackout It's again another one of those limited light levels like Blackout Basement. The only difference is that this time around you can actually hit barrels to continue to turn on and off the lights in order to be able to see what you're doing in the level. So pretty much it's just a mining level that reduces your visibility. Nothing too unique, really. Really, kind of just a harder version of It's really a harder version of the level Blackout Basement that you saw in the second part of this Let's Play. But we are once again introduced to now purple claptraps being main enemies, which of course when the lights are on they actually look purple, but when it's darker at some points they actually look like red claptraps actually, which are very rare indeed, and the only time really red claptraps ever appear in the Donkey Kong Country series is in the Game Boy Advance version, where oddly enough these enemies are red claptraps, and of course as you will see in my Donkey Kong Country Let's Play in a few random cutscenes of the game. Which is actually a really real disappointment that the game designers, and I'll say this even for the Donkey Kong 64 Let's Play, it's a real disappointment that they weren't actually able to include red claptraps in the game. Seriously, I mean, they probably just didn't have the time to do it. Considering they did have the technological skills to do it, but I guess they wanted to be able to get the game out there eventually for the players and didn't want to have to add in more technical stuff. Anyway, as I was about to say, we are eventually getting close to the most frustrating shield barrel bonus round area of the game, and yes, we're experiencing one of those stupid stupid stone throwing neckies, which, as I just said they can be quite annoying indeed. And yet I'm trying to once again reach that bonus area, but yet again my stupid barrel gets destroyed by one of those dumb stones. And I have to lose yet again another life. And to continue the trend, I keep on yet again losing more lives as I get hit by a stupid critter. Oh, whatever. Oh, what joy this is. Losing my lives continuously. Or losing a Kong thanks to that stupid, annoying Necky as I'm trying to, get my bonus barrel to, actually this secret wall right there near the on and off switch that you just saw before. Of course, that on and off switch that I clicked and lost a life. And because of all the lives I was losing, I was getting frustrated and wanted to be able to obtain more lives. Actually, I kept this part of me gaining back some lives because actually I'm pretty happy to say I was actually able to gain 2 1-ups and actually a green tune-up balloon. Yes, I said a green 2-up balloon. 2-up balloon. Sounds like tune-up. Yes, I know, but I mean literally 2-up. Yeah, crucial Kongs, if you feel the... Yeah, I didn't read the entire thing, but... Yeah, I kind of got the idea. Yes, but I really like the one part when you actually do it, travel in Funky Kong's special plane balloon, plane barrel thing in this game. I actually like in the music where it goes, "Hiya!" I have to say that's pretty cool indeed. I think that's actually Nintendo's touch to the game to add in that so-called "Hiya!" thing. And Rareware was just trying to, of course, support Rareware in that sense because it sounds kind of Japanese when they try to sound that way. Hiya! Yeah, really entertaining, I gotta say. But thankfully enough, I finally got to the final secret bonus area of Loopy Lights, I am pretty pleased to say. But I moved a little too far, stupidly enough, and I hit another one of those annoying zingers. And we have a yet really annoying pattern of zingers. Oh, what joy! And dealing with the issues with the lights off too. Oh, whatever fun that is. And now we have to deal with an annoying Manky Kong throwing barrels down, and yet again another annoying pattern similar to that stone throwing Necky. And I know I showed it off again, but I thought that I didn't show it off the first time. I'm sorry about that, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. I'll eventually be getting back to the part that for some reason I tended to repeat over again, and I'm sorry about that, folks. That's my mistake on my part, but oh well. I mean, really, you guys do not deserve to really see me yet again get killed off when it comes to this. After, of course, seeing the death before. But you exactly know what's gonna happen next now. Yeah, I'm gonna get hit by one of those stupid barrels of Manky Kong, because I couldn't see slightly. But this time around, I edited back to finally when I took down the last of those annoying orangutans. And yet again, I finished yet again another level, and actually the second to last level within the game. Hello guys, got anything worth saving? Okay, and finally on to the final level of the game, and you'll be surprised, that's actually the Crush's. That right there, as you just saw, that's the Crush's older. That's actually the Crush's the harder version of them, the gray version. And if you're curious, gray Crushes can only be killed off by barrels. Yes, I just said gray Crushes can only be killed off by barrels in this game. There's no other way to kill off a gray Crusher in the game. And they actually only appear in this final level. They don't appear anywhere else in the very original Donkey Kong Country. They only appear in the very final level of the game. And thankfully enough, for the final level, I finally successfully spelled out Kong and got a 1-up, I'm very pleased to say. Thankfully enough, I have to say that this level's not really too hard, I'm happy to say. Enemy patterns may be just a wee bit difficult, but this is just a pretty easy not too hard to get to. Yeah, not way too hard to get to bonus areas, I'm pleased to say. And they're actually very simple to find. The final bonus areas of the game are actually located near the beginning and the end of the level, actually. And yes, the areas that you experience are actually not too hard to get through in reality. They just include a bunch of cluttered groups of enemies and stuff of that nature. And a bunch of these, yet again, platforms. But this time around, instead of just including falling platforms like what you experienced in Blackout Basement, you also experience moving platforms, as you see, before they fade away. And yet, the King of Swing shows off his true capabilities in the final area of Donkey Kong Country. And yet, for the final stage, we experience a bunch of gray crushers to end the level entirely. With Donkey Kong taking down all of them in the process. Now, I have to say that was so stupid of me. I should have thrown that a lot sooner, but thankfully enough, I was able to jump just in the nick of time and got that. And time to reveal for you guys the real final bonus area of the game. Which is nothing too major, it's just to get an animal token, which in this case you're just getting an animal token for On Guard the Swordfish. Da-da-da. And yes, 2 for 2 victory with the King of Swing himself. And the second to last time we'll experience Cranky Kong in the game. You're lucky you caught me. I was just heading out. A leap of faith is all it takes to get to Barrel Blast Canyon. Push the 3 tires to areas where they will help you to find bonus levels. You know all you need to know. Yes, and once again, this is the reason why I had to say this is such a rip-off level. Once again, we experience another gigantic Necky, which is supposed to be Necky Senior compared to the one we experienced. The only difference between this Necky and the one we experienced before is that it shoots off one more consistent coconut every single time you hit Necky Senior. And I just about killed it off, and that was the final stage. But unfortunately, I get hit by one of those stupid coconuts. But thankfully enough, this time around, I actually kill it off with Donkey Kong, I'm pleased to say. And yet, another victory for the king of Swing. And now we are at the final boss of the game, King K. Rool on his pirate ship, the Gangplank Galleon. As we deal with Lord Fat K. Rool. And oh boy, and oh geez, aside from the leader of the Kremlings being, awfully big, he sure is awfully fat. And trust me, they'll make plenty of characters will make plenty of references to that in Donkey Kong 64 of how fat he is. And yes, we are dealing with the and each stage actually gets more annoying, as you see, as we have to experience a whole bunch of cannonballs raining down on us when K. Rool smashes down onto the Gangplank Galleon from the other side. And I have to say, it is quite surprising indeed how high K. Rool can jump for being so fat. I mean, seriously. How can he jump so high for being such a fat crocodile? But yet again, for some stupid reason, I get hit by one of those annoying cannonballs, and I get hit yet again. And I continue to get hit by these stupid cannonballs. But it's not surprising considering that this is the hardest boss in the entire game. But oddly enough, this is actually the second to easiest time you've ever faced King K. Rool in the game. And as many viewers and players are already aware, we are given a set of fake credits in order to try to perceive that yes, we've beaten the game. But of course, as most players, even back then, and as us, the viewers, know, this is not the end of the game, and we have one last really tough and very annoying stage to deal with, where K. Rool does a series of frog hops. And a frog, and I'm frog, and this is K. Rool, He's frog hopping, and you gotta annoyingly time these frog hops. You gotta time these frog hops. And yet again, as you see, you have to go through the entire annoying stage again before you get to this spot. And I just about am able to get through this, but I get hit again by Donkey Kong, which I don't know why it's so tough with that of Donkey Kong in order to duck against his stupid frog hops. So I tried to be Diddy Kong with this, and I should have stayed as Diddy Kong in order to be able to beat it with Donkey Kong, because the final cutscene of the game mentions him. And actually, I beat Lord King K. Rool with Diddy Kong. Well done, Donkey, my boy. Who would have thought a young whippersnapper like you could have beaten that bunch of no-good gremlings? You made an old man proud. Go and look in your hoard. I think you'll be in for a surprise. If I had been playing, I'd have found everything. And that's when I'm sure there must be some bonus rooms you haven't found. And yes, I missed one bonus room, but you guys know exactly where it is and to be able to get to it, and I didn't really want to show it off because, well, it pretty much is one of those, once again, not very real special or never before seen bonus stages. Anyway, yes, creatively enough, we have finally reached the end of the game, and we are introduced, I'm happy to say to an entire reel that it shows off and explains all the names of every single enemy within the game. Yes, as I mentioned to you guys, yes, those are all the names of every single one of the enemies as I mentioned to you throughout each part here of the Let's Play. Well, yes, and we are introduced to many silly animations. Like, for example, as you see here, the Chomps Jr. trying to go after the Squidges and thinking he has an upper hand because he's going after one Squidge to eat. But then a whole group of them actually come, and that's pretty fun. And that's a little bit funny. And yes, we are introduced to all of the Kremling hordes. And now it's the bosses. Very naughty. Master Neki, which is the name of that giant Neki I mentioned. Queen Bee, really naughty. Dumb Drum. Master Neki Sr. King K. Rool. Good guys, Rambi, Espresso, On Guard, Winky, Squawks, which, as you know, only appeared in one area of this entire game. Is it my turn yet? Funky Kong, Candy Kong. Surely it's me next. Cranky Kong in his iconic rocking chair. Donkey Kong. And here we are with Donkey Kong and his ever-lovable nephew, teasing each other, and for some reason, iconically slightly beating each other up, and also picking on each other for some reason. Jeez. Oh well, I did this using one life. and I took less than an hour. And if you're wondering if that's actually accomplishable, yes, it actually is. And of course, there's probably footage of YouTube of the guy who did that, most likely by this point now when it comes to our world. Anyway, yes. So this is the end credits to advertise Donkey Kong Country. I have to say, we have many of its different creators, music sound testers, and so many of the other people that had worked real hard on this game. And yes, we finally see the full-on display of, for the moment, Donkey Kong's ever-lovable home and his treehouse. Which actually, I have to say, Donkey Kong's treehouse actually does actually appear several times within the Donkey Kong TV series, I am pleased to actually say. Right, and I have to say this was actually quite a fun and little experience. I'm really sorry it took me about 2.5 hours, and this isn't my best time, but anyway, this has been the Master Chief 1, and I will see you later when I do my next Let's Play, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kongquest. So I will see you in the next Let's Play of the second Donkey Kong Country game, and I'll see you later, but goodbye.